topology change, receive one is 02. So what is happening? As I said, every interval, every some seconds, the hellos are exchanging, and this is what you can see the topology change. So topology change only comes to the picture when something is happening. When something is happening, that means suppose this switch is down. Let me make stop. This switch is down. Now we'll go to switch 2. See, all the calculation is done. Now this switch is down. This is completely down. So this is the second lowest bridge ID. Now let's see which switch is become a root bridge. Okay, sorry, this is down. So spanning tree, villain 1. See, this bridge is the root bridge. If you see, this switch is also close to this earlier root bridge. This switch is also close to the earlier root bridge. It had a same code, but of course, as the definition by the book, by the Cisco, lowest BID will become a root bridge. So as soon as again we power on, as soon as we power on, as soon as we power on the switch, again calculation will happen. Let's see here, something is happening. See, the calculation is happening. Oh, what is happening? Topology change, something changed. I heard root 327 in a MAC address. Oh, new root is there. See, guys, can you see in the log? You can see in the log, right? The topology changes behavior. Something is happening. Something is happening. Now let's see again. As soon as this switch came up, this became a root, and again this became a secondary, means non-root bridge. For understanding secondary, we can call as a secondary root bridge because it is not there because it's a primary. So I hope this is fine, everyone. Now, if you are a network administrator and you are going to say this switch is a primary and this switch is a secondary, yes, we can make it. We can make it. This is a primary root bridge and this is secondary root bridge. How we have the configuration? Let me go on the switch one. This is the case one I'm talking about. It is very important. So what I'm doing first, config tree, go to config mode, spanning tree, villain 1, 10, 10. If you do question mark, if you see there are commands forward time, hello time, maxes. Yes, we can manipulate. We can influence the timer of the STP, which is there, but we will do later on. First, we will understand how to make a switch one as a primary, how to make switch to as a secondary. So spanning tree villain 10, I am making a root. If I do command, I am making a primary. I make this root as a primary. Now here I came on switch to spanning tree, villain 10, root. I'm making secondary. Okay. Oh, did you see something is happening here? This debug is on or not? Okay. I powered up spanning tree. Sorry, spanning tree event. Oh, because it was powered off, so debugging configuration was flushed off from the memory of the switch. But you can see there is some log generated on the switch to set bridge ID which is equal to 1. But if you see here in some way debugging, we when we if you see there was a bridge ID was which was equal to 3. Now this bridge ID this bridge ID changed to 1. And look at this configuration. What is this priority? 288682 and default priority become 28662 and system ID is 10 on with this new MAC address. See, this MAC address is new MAC address 7000. Earlier it was 8000 something, because now it's become a. Let me do a spanning tree. Million 10. Here you can see the value 2862. If you see, okay, let me first here create the villain 10. Is there not? Okay, the command is villain 10 root primary. Okay, as soon as I make the primary, now some syslog will generate. It will generate some message because the debug was on already. If I do show spanning villain 10, this is so this is a primary. This root is a primary. I made this switch is a secondary. So when I made this secondary, if is the calculation, see this calculation, it was if okay. Let me show you again. Spanning tree. Let me use this so I can show the and how it calculates everything. See how the changes is happening because it was becoming a secondary. Then I disable this command. Now let me show you. So spanning tree villain one. Please just mind this calculate. Okay, just hold. Spanning tree villain one. If you see the priority value is 32769. So currently I'm not doing anything. This is a default behavior of the Swiss 2 and on the Swift one. Let me show you here. So spanning tree villain. Okay, here also the value is 32769. Here it is also value 32769. Now I am making a I am forcing to the switch one. You will be the root switch one will be the root bridge, and switch two will be the secondary. With with the help of this command, switch villain 10 root primary and tree villain 10 root secondary. Of course, forcing with the help of this command, if you see this priority got changed. This priority got changed. Now if I do so spanning tree villain 1, what is this value of this priority now? It's changed. Sorry, it changed here because that is already primary. Default is primary behavior. Spanning tree villain 1. See 32769. What happened this to value? Did I run the same command? So run spanning tree. Okay. Okay, this priority set will change here. Okay, this I wanted to show you. It is not showing. Okay. See, this priority is 24576. When I made this root is a primary, and when I make this root is a secondary, look at the priority value automatically changed. It came to 5476, and this is the 28760, 28672. So for a primary, this is the primary root bridge, and with this lowest value, it become a secondary root bridge. So once again, I will power off the secondary. The secondary switch become a root bridge. So with the help of this command, you can make switch one as a primary root bridge, and you can make a switch as a secondary root bridge. Suppose if you don't want to do this configuration, I don't want to make like switch one primary and switch to primary. Now,
Can I?
yeah, hello, please go ahead.
I have yeah, I have a question. Okay,
Yeah,
for
please go
this
ahead.
scenario, we have a multiple VLAN like 5, 10, lot of VLANs. Okay, and
Yes.
in that VLANs, which we are native, we give the priority on the native VLAN, or all the VLANs we have to put on the
No, no, no.
root side
Okay.
on the main
No, no, no.
which we
So,
define the switch. Yeah.
okay. So, okay. That's a good question. I'm happy to have you raise the question. See, so what I'm talking about, I was forcing to this switch as a primary root bridge, and I was forcing to switch the secondary root bit. So whenever you do something, that value set to that value default goes to each villain because STP runs for each villain. So whatever the value will be changed, it will replicate to each switch, each villain. Now, as for your query, I want to make your okay. Let me create many villains. I am creating villain 10 and 30. Okay. So see, look at this. Many changes because as soon as I created villain, because STP runs for villain. STP never run for any physical interface. Always remember this. STP run for villain only because it's the PVST. That's a default mode of this way. Okay, villain 10 and villain 10 and 30. Now this switch has a villain which has a 30 villain. Means from 10 to 20 it's generated. And here, if you see, this villain has this villain, this much of villain. 10 to 28 is generated the villain. Now, if you see spanning tree, the value for each villain, you will see the same. So villain 10, sorry, spanning tree, villain 10. The value is 24586. This is a okay 24576. Please look at this. The priority value when I done the configuration made forcefully 24576. It add this system ID which is a villain 10. It's added and it calculate 24586. Now if we see for villain uh, 20, see it's added. If villain 22, this calculation is different. If villain 15, see how it calculates 2, 4, 5, 7 plus. So this is how the calculation is happening. What it does, it decrement the priority this this switch can be root primary when this always has lowest BID for each villain. So I shown you. So I hope your query answer right, Gurujit. Is this fine?
Yeah, yes, sir. What I was saying, if
Hmm.
normally if we trunk the two switches, okay,
Okay.
we one
Okay.
is a one switch is a primary switch, as you said. So we
Okay.
we
Ah,
configure the priority on that switch as a per
okay.
root switch root proto on that.
Ah, right.
So what I am saying, when we
Okay.
trunk the port and we define the native VLAN on that trunk port, okay, we have to normally when we defining, we put defining, okay,
So,
VLAN
but why
10
you
is a
want to
native
do?
VLAN node.
No, 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 no. Villain 10 cannot be a native villain. You have to modify it. Okay, let me show you. Okay, if you do
No, no.
so,
Normally, we defining the. We are not okay. On the real scenario, we
okay.
the default one VLAN,
See,
default VLAN
no, no.
one normally. But we shut down this VLAN. We are
Okay,
not using that.
villain one. Okay, see, okay, you can see right. So, spanning tree
Yeah,
villain one, which is a default value.
yeah. No, VLAN one is a no default VLAN, which is we
Right.
using the native VLAN by default.
Yes.
But
Okay. Yes.
in the real scenario, we are switching off this VLAN. We are not using as a default, native VLAN in the real scenario. Some places.
Okay. I shut down. 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 Okay. So, okay, I shut down the villain one. I'm not sure. So, okay, villain one is shut down. Now, what is your question now?
So I'm saying normally when we trunk the ports, we have a 10 switch, we trunk each other. Okay, and the second thing, so on the root
Okay.
switch, where we
Ah,
define, so we have to define the VLAN also. This is the root VLAN where the all the
no,
traffic
no.
will go if the.
No, no,
BDUP
no, no, no. Let
messages.
me shut all this. No, 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 no. You please don't do this. So, see, you are a network, and this is the reason you should not confuse it, because when I say, so you are a network administrator, you wanted to make this switch as a primary, you wanted to make the root to two. So, what simple thing is there? Spanning tree, villain means I can consider. See, why I took from 10, because I don't want to make a villain as a one, but I can consider. Consider villain one, villain 1 range to 32. I can do this. So the choice is in your hand. You have to define for which villain. Okay, now I'm doing spinning tree villain. I'm making from 15 from 15 to 30. Sorry, is there root primary? You can make it. You can make it. But here it's instead of doing this, there is another way. There is another. Suppose I shown you there are many villains, right? So it is very hard. So when you have a multiple villain, oh my God, you have a multiple villain, and if something will happen to this switch, suppose there is some application which is default recommended to use this switch. This is recommended. There are some villain which are required. They should the it should always prefer switch one, and there's some another villain. They should always prefer villain two. So yes, I can do this. Means you can play. Okay, what is the second option? We have spanning tree. Suppose villain 10, villain 10 to 15. If you see now there is a here is the priority you have to play. Earlier I used this configuration because what I was doing, I was forcing to primary root bridge, I was forcing to secondary bridge. Now the scenario got changed. As per your requirement, I say some villains should be on this switch is a primary, some villain on this switch should be secondary. We can make it. So let me use this. So I am making 15 villains on the switch one will be primary, and remaining villain will be primary on the switch 2. Okay. Now I'm not here. I'm putting the value. This is very important. Bridge priority in increments of always in 4096. This value is very important. So what I'm doing, I'm just taking a 4096. I make 4096. Okay, I made this here. For whom? 10 to 15. I came here. Entry villain 16 to 30. Priority 4096. See, can you see the changes? Because I have created many, many villains. This is the reason you can see the many debugging on the syslog. And meanwhile, you can see the topology change, how the topology changes behavior, how the topology changes function. See, you can see learning, listening, all the mode is happening. Okay, now I made 10 to 15 villain in this switch as a primary. So spanning tree villain. I'm taking the villain. This bridge is the root. See, on switch VLAN 15 is root bridge, but on switch 2, this port will not be a root bridge. It's a non-root bridge. See, it's non-root bridge. Now I am taking the last VLAN 28. If you see spanning tree VLAN 28 here is 28 is not a root bridge. VLAN 20 is not a root bridge. So where it is a root bridge? Here it is secondary. Yes.
Yes, you
If
can
you
put
see here, VLAN 28 is the root bridge. So you are the administrator. You have a choice to make and to ensure that which VLAN must be primary root bridge on which switch, that you have the choice in your hand. Is this fine to everyone? Like Gurujit, everyone is fine?
yeah, yeah. Okay.
And okay, so let me put this command. If you want to make a forcefully switch one as a root bridge, then use this command. Let me show you. Let me write this command. And if you can switch as a secondary root bridge, the command is secondary. You can use this command. So there is two possibilities. You can manipulate it with the physical switch. You are the administrator. You have a choice. You can forcefully make this switch as a root bridge, or you can make a this switch as a root bridge as per it is in your hand. Or second option, you can manipulate the VLAN. Some VLAN can be a primary root bridge on the switch one, and some VLAN can be a primary root bridge on the switch two. What is the command for that? Let me. Okay. If you make some VLAN primary on each one, then use command is try to value 6. Please understand this is only for example. You have to understand. And like switch VLAN 10 and make a VLAN 12 primary on a secondary switch, then use command. So whenever you do the same calculation, switch has the value and it always reset the value. Now you can say, okay, sorry, and I should not do this. Let me remove and will it. I hope is this fine to everyone? Like spanning tree, debugging with state, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Everybody, I believe everybody is on the same page. So now we understood very well spanning tree algorithm as I explain here, and as I mentioned the points which you can summarize. And this is a you can as a like a refer as a for a quick reference. Now there was I also wanted to tell you something. I want to show you something. There was some point which is remain for this topic. Now sorry. Tree villain 10. Okay, what? So we have some default value. Like okay, let me show you some. We have some default timers. If you see the default timer, hello time is 2 second, max is 20 second, and forward delay is 15 second. Suppose you are an administrator and you are thinking, boss, I want to do a manipulation. Let me do change the default timer on the switch board because for you it looks like it's taking too much time for BPDU from here to here, it's taking time to reach on switch 4, and you want to do a modification in switch 4, and let's go and do it. So you are a network administrator, you go and doing spanning tree VLAN 10 and hello timer. So default is 2, but you wanted to make a 1. Oh yes, you are able to do this. Okay. Max max's time is 20 and you wanted to make a 15. Oh yes, is it possible? That's good. Now forward delay is 15. Now let me do this here also for forward delay. Forward delay time is 20 and you are making 15. Okay, I done the changes. Now let's do this. So spelling tree villain 10. Nothing is happened. See, it's still 2. I configured 1. It's still 2. I configured 15. It's 15. Sorry, I took this 15. Let me make this 14 because I want to mention this time. See, you can't change anything. You can't change spelling tree if you say everything is same. You can't change anything. But can you see here? Here, the changes. Here is the changes. 2 second, 1 second, 20 second, 15 second, 15 second become 40 second. You can manipulate, but just because of this timer, it will not become a root bridge. It will not become a root bridge. This is just timer. So you can do a okay. Now what is the impact of here? Let's do this. So spinning tree villain 10. This will be remain as it is because we forcefully done the modification timer on switch 4. So yes, you are a network and you are a network administrator and you have a very good understanding of the spanning tree, then you can play with this STP timer, no doubt. But I will recommend don't ever do this because this can create a big mess in your topology because it's your lab, it's for switches, so we can manage it. But in production, don't run any debugging, don't do any changes, leave as it is default. For understanding, you must have understandings. Whenever you have a organization, a network design, you done the you have a design and you can calculate the value, you can get it from the switching configuration, and for a better understanding you can make it. I hope this session, this isn't fine for you today, right? For spanning tree, Gurujit, Branto, Albert, is
Yeah,
this clear to
for
everyone?
me, good. Yeah.
Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, thanks for the detailed information.
Yes, yes, no, yes, it's my this is my way of teaching. I don't want to make you like I don't want to go just go to theory. I just wanted to show you theory as well as the practical, so you guys have a good understanding about the spanning tree protocol. See, I know it took completely whole hours to, but this is very important. I'm telling you, when you go for CCI exam or any exam or you're doing something, the concept should be with you and you can use this knowledge to play with the spanning tree. So I think we can end this session today.